it, but then it's like, oh no, it's just depressing piano. Hello, depressing piano. Or not piano, what is that, a violin? Why did I say piano? That's not piano at all, it's like breathing in a violin. I don't know what I don't know what I was thinking there. Hello everyone. I'm gonna come on now. Hello, I have now come on to you apparently. Oh god, that was not correct phrasing to use. Hello everybody. Uh-oh, is my computer gonna freeze? There we go. I'll turn that down a little bit. How's everyone doing this fine evening? How is everyone doing? Is this the voice of a well? Is there something wrong with my voice? Let me know if the sound is good. Hey JJ, welcome to your first stream. Hello, and hey Cyberquaker. Also Newt was trying to climb up. Do you want to come up, bud? Come on. Come and say hi to everybody. Hello. Oh, hey, good, Robert. I'm sorry you had a rough day, but I'm glad I can be here to help you. And we can all hang out together. I'm sorry, I'm just checking stuff. Newt, are you gonna come up here, or are you gonna wander around my, you're gonna circle me like I'm your dinner? Come here, Newt. Come on. Come on up. Say hello, my cat, be on my lap, and so I'll sing to you. Yes, that's an invitation. There he is. Can't really see him because I'm also wearing black. Hello! Hitokiri Hobbit? Oh, I love that name. I love that name. That's absolutely wonderful. Oh, Tommy as well. Thank you so much. Hello. How is everybody doing? Here is Newt. I know you're all here really for Newt. It's hard to see him because it's black on black here, but... Hello. Oh, Stacy Carnage. Welcome to your first stream, too. Hello to everybody's first stream. I hope everyone's doing really great tonight. I want to say sorry that, check something. I wanted to say sorry that I missed, that I was, got sick on Thursday's stream the other day. Yeah, Thursday, I don't know what it was, but like about 2 or 3 hours before I started streaming, I started feeling sick. And I don't know what was up, but I just started feeling queasy and had a bit of a headache. And then right before the stream, about 30 minutes before the stream, I started feeling better. But that was buddy, you're going to start wandering around the whole, yep, you're going to do all that, aren't you? I started wandering around, what was I saying? 30 minutes before the stream, I started feeling better and was like, oh, I think I can do the stream. And then as soon as the stream started and I started talking, I just felt sick to my stomach. As soon as I popped on stream, I'm like, nope, cannot do this. So I apologize for Thursday missing out on the stream. Hi, Newt. Are you going to just go and you're going to hit my keyboard? I'm going to move my Nope. You're going to walk around it? What are we doing? Hello, bud. Okay, and we're back on the lap now. All right. We just went in one big circle. Is that what we were doing today? We're just going to go in one big circle? Yeah? Uh-huh. He's just going to go in one big circle. That's what he's going to do. Anyways, how is everybody doing? I don't see a Horgan, but okay. I do have a Horgan if you want me to get my Horgan, I do have a Horgan in the other room. It's in my bedroom, because of course the Horgan's in the bedroom. If you want me to go get my Horgan, I can go get my Horgan. I have not tried the Lower Decks mobile game. I don't really play mobile game, like on the phone mobile games all that much, to be fair. I just spilled my apple cider all over my face. I am doing okay. Thank you very much, NCC 1701 Chris. Oh, I'm sorry, Cappuccino Crafts. I'm sending you some love. Oh, I'm sorry that Andrew Clegg. I appreciate you trying to do the super chat, but don't worry. Also, weirdly, so okay, 2 things, and then I'll start playing the game. So I know I'm not playing Ocarina. I was having trouble getting Ocarina set up. However, right before the stream started, I set this up to be Bloodborne, and I can still play Bloodborne, but everyone let me know what everyone would actually like, because I actually got my GameCube. It's my GameCube down, I don't know if you can see it past Newt there, but my GameCube isn't on the floor. It wasn't turning on, now it is turning on. So I can play Ocarina, or I can play Bloodborne. It is my first time, well, I played Ocarina a few times. This is my first time playing Bloodborne. I've played Dark Souls 1 through 3, beaten them all. I have not beaten Bloodborne. And it'll be technically not my first time at the section that I'm being Ocarina at right now, because I'm still in the Forest Temple. But I have never beaten Ocarina of Time. So just let me know what you prefer. Everyone's saying Bloodborne? Oh, have fun getting smart glasses. Welcome to the future. You'll have to tell me how that is, Lisa. Because, I know, like, Mark Zuckerberg and Meta and everything really wants us to all go to the smart smart glasses are out, that's where they really see the metaverse being. Everyone's saying Bloodborne. Okay. I'll play Bloodborne then. We'll go with Bloodborne. So we'll go with Bloodborne. So I'll start playing that in a little bit. I will say I've started it already. I started playing it last night. I am at the first boss, but I have not leveled up yet. I just got to the first boss and I died pretty quickly, and then started beating him. So all right, we're doing Bloodborne. Everyone's in with Bloodborne. Also, one other thing that I wanted to say before I get playing, it is fall times, and I am so loving it. Like today here in Seattle, maybe not where everyone is, but today in Seattle it was finally sweater weather, which I finally have my sweater on, or sweatshirt on, I should say. And I am so excited for it. Literally, sweaters are my favorite time of year. Like, whenever I can wear sweaters around, it is my favorite time of the year, and I just got to be all cozy and warm. I watched a movie, a nice little fall movie right before this, and it's getting to that time where I can watch, like, cozy horror movies, like Hocus Pocus. I can't wait to watch Hocus Pocus. It's one of my favorite things to watch, Hocus Pocus, during Halloween time, so I'm very excited. Yeah, the light was gorgeous in Seattle today. Like, as the sun was setting, it was Beetlebones, you're the best. Literally, you're the best, Beetlebones. I send you love. You're absolutely amazing. Yeah, cozy rules. Fall, best. Fall is the best weather. Fall is the absolute best weather. So, thank you very much, Wellington Smith. I appreciate the super chat. You're lovely. I'm sending you love. All right. Here's the real question before I get going. Last question before I start playing some more, before I start playing the Bloodborne. Yeah. I'm, like, weirdly tongue-twister. Maybe the question I'm about to ask is not the good question to ask, since I'm already tongue-tied. You're awesome. You're awesome, Queen. Mwah, sending you love. Question is, yet life was breathable. Life was very breathable, Andrew. Mwah, thank you so much for the super chat. Question is, should I have a drink? I have some coffee stouts in the fridge. I've been drinking less, not because I have a problem with drinking. I've just been like, I want to drink less just for calories' sake. But I do have some coffee stouts in the fridge. But then I'm playing Bloodborne with coffee. So that's the question. Should I take a drink? Is everyone saying I should have a drink? Yes? I'm already slurring my words, and I haven't had a single drink yet. Though, to be fair, I'm in the weird phase. I apologize. I will get to the game, but I'm in this weird phase right now where, after surgery, where a lot of my healing is up. I still have my skin's still a little bit swollen, especially down here in my cheeks. But, like, a lot of the swelling elsewhere, like on my head and stuff, like the scar up here is for the most part, like, starting to heal. It's still red, but it's not as, like, jagged and bumpy as it used to be. But I'm at this weird part where, like, down here, like, in my jowl area and inside my mouth where they did the surgery, it's still very, like, numb. Like, imagine, up until about a few weeks ago for my surgery, imagine, like, my mouth, I just couldn't feel anything. And then as of about, like, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, it started feeling like a cold numb. Like, you know, when you go to the dentist and they, like, Novocaine up your mouth or something? That's what it feels like the entire bottom of my mouth right now. So I've started to slur my words a little bit more. Because my mouth is still, like, still kind of jowly and still swollen. And I'm still slurring my words a little bit. It's a little bit of a fun bit. So, have you seen Ghostwatch, Jessie? Ghostwatch. Why is it Ghostwatch? Ghostwatch sounds familiar. I feel like I have. Am I thinking of Ghost Runner? Ghostwatch, horror This looks amazing. A British reality horror pseudo-documentary television film. What? I love horror comedy stuff. Or is it not comedy? It's a drama. Still interesting. Investigation. Interesting. I love, like, weird British shows. I've been really getting into Taskmaster lately. I love Taskmaster to death. To death. Aw, thank you, NCC1701, Chris. I appreciate that. Is Jessie drinking water? Not water on hand, but I do have Gatorade. So, I do have Gatorade on hand. Alright. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go get a beer, which is gonna upset Newt because he is currently curled up on my lap. Sorry, you little eldritch horror demon. I love you. Oh, now you're purring. Don't purr. Don't purr, because then I'm gonna feel bad when I have to lift you up. Alright, I'm gonna go quick get a beer. We're gonna play some Bloodborne. Also, to bribe all of you, when I get back, I want to show you guys something that I worked on today. for the upcoming... I am watching House of the Dragon. I'm actually reviewing it on my secondary channel, Amy. I love House of the Dragon. It's been a lot of fun. I have issues with it here and there, but I still really love it. Sorry, bud. Sorry, buddy. I know. Come on up. Mommy needs to go get some alcohol. It's a healthy thing. So I will show you all what beer. All right. I'm going to go get beer. I'm going to show you all something that I'm working on for the next video that I'm doing. That I'm actually encouraged about because it's a comedy thing, even though it's about Matt Walsh, and Matt Walsh sucks. We do not like Matt Walsh here. We hate Matt Walsh here. But I do have something that I'm doing that's fun for that video, and I want to show it to all of you. But I'm going to go grab a beer. Whoa! Sorry, Newt. Didn't mean to scare you. Alright, I am back. Alright. Matt Walsh, okay. I love Walt Mashed Up. I like Matt Walsh Up. I like that. That's a funny name for him. Low rent General Manny. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to show you all this that I was working on just because I'm kind of excited about it. And then... Did I see the 5D super chat? No. What did I miss? Oh, Stay Hump 10. I'm sorry. Hey, G, how do you feel about the word transsexual? Good question. I personally, I think that the word transsexual has, for the most part, become outdated. I feel like transsexual and transgender were somewhat interchangeable up until the past few years. And now transsexuals tended to be used more by transmedicalist community, like the transmedicalist community, to denote someone that like someone like me, for example, that does experience gender dysphoria and uses surgeries and other sort of medical needs to be other medical avenues to be able to alleviate gender dysphoria, like, you know, changing genitals, breasts, and all that stuff. But I feel like our language has gotten a little bit better in being able to distinguish someone who does experience gender dysphoria than just saying transsexual. I don't really particularly have a problem with the word transsexual. I'm not, like, offended if I see it. I just tend to notice that people who are aware of the transgender community, I mean, there are people that aren't really super aware of the transgender community that will sign us say transsexual, transgender interchangeably. But within the trans community, people who tend to use the word transsexual more tend to be transmedicalists, and obviously we don't really like transmedicalism as a concept, or at least I don't particularly. Again, that's not, as someone who would be considered someone who would like fit into like a sexual mold, transmedicalist mold myself. I don't believe transmedicalism is a healthy way of looking at the trans community as a whole. It can be a way, but it's not the way, which I think is a problem. And it usually leaves out a lot of non-binary people and things like that. Anyways, yeah, I just think it's an outdated term. I think there are better words that we have nowadays, but I'm not like offended by it. I'm not like deeply hurt by it or think it's like a super problematic term. I just think I just think it's tending to be on the wane as a term that we use. So that's generally tends to be my feeling on it. Stay Hump. It does feel stigmatizing. It's like I'm not deeply offended if someone uses it, but I've tended to see that be the case. That transmedicalist community is used it a little bit more. Oh, you're a beautiful human being, Finn. And Andrew Clay, you gonna drink the drink? You deserve to party like the post-Civil War best case scenario. Do you like tequila? You talk about like beer with good tequila. I do. I'm not a big tequila person, but that's not because I don't like tequila. It's just because I don't really drink tequila that often. I have some tequila, mostly from Star Trek Lower Decks, weirdly enough. Like Star Trek Lower Decks, every season they send me like a box at the beginning of every season because I'm on like some CBS list. And it's really nice, and I get some like cool merch. But like something else they always send with the boxes are like tequila. So I have like Star Trek Lower Decks branded tequila, which is a weird thing to have. I'm happy I have it. It's just a weird thing to have. All right. I am going to have this coffee stout here. It's silky but bold imperial stout with notes of dark chocolate mixing with Thomas Hammer coffee to create a delightful espresso flavor. A sipper for dessert or breakfast, if so inclined. I don't know. I don't know who's drinking this for breakfast. I feel like you have a problem. Also, look at the little hammerhead. I don't know if you can see how well you can see on this thing. Let's see. Look at the little hammerhead sharks. They got little like earmuffs and stuff on. So cute little hammerhead sharks. Look at it. Oh, so cute little, and it's got a little adorable gentleman on the back. Look at that. He's being a good old gentleman. Yes, I make beer. All right. Let's see. I'm going to have my stout. Cheers, everybody. How often do you even drink Lower Decks tequila? Could you make a drinking game of it? I mean, I don't drink it at all. I've never even opened it. I have Lower Decks branded tequila, and I've never opened the damn thing. I'm just glad I have it. I also have some other weird Lower Decks stuff. Like, what else did they give me? I have the Lower Decks Ketracel White Hot that they gave me, which I tried on the review. And then they gave me something else. I think, like, peanuts? It's like Lower Decks branded peanuts. Also, they gave me Lower Decks branded cookies, which were delicious. They were like Boimler's family, like raisin vineyard. They were oatmeal raisin cookies from like Boimler's family vineyard. Those were delicious. Those I ate. Those are wherever they got those cookies from, were freaking delicious. Heavy as all hell, but they were absolutely delicious. Who is your celebrity crush? Oh, that's a hard question. Oh no. I am not going to say because I just sort of I just thought about it. I'm like, oh, I know who my crush is. Nope, because I know this person, so I'm not gonna say it. So I actually am not going to answer that question because I mean, Anson Mount, yes, Anson Mount is my. Okay, those are the fun answers. Anson Mount and Chris Evans, hell yes, very much so. Chris Evans, okay, particularly. Here's the thing. Particularly, Chris Evans in Knives Out. Not his character. Him in that sweater. Him in that freaking sweater. Is the cutest thing. Maybe it's just because I'm in an autumn mood right now. I've been wanting to watch Knives Out again. And just been dying to see Glass Onion to death. Like, really bad. Oh boy. It's Chris Evans in that sweater. Oh, I get distracted. I get distracted in that. Aeronock, I didn't see you come in. Good to see you, my friend. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Aeronock, we need to do Halo on stream together, or some sort of multiplayer game on stream together at some point, Aeronock. If you want to come on stream at some point if you're free next week, I don't want to put you on the spot. Near future, possibly next week, Aeronock. If you want to come on stream and like hang out and play some games, I would love the ever-loving crap out of that to play some games with you on stream. Alright. I had a crush on Billie Eilish back in the day. Oh, Sinister Intelligence. Oh, Billie Eilish is a good crush. I mean, my crushes were weird as a kid. Mine were Trunks from Dragon Ball Z and Hayden Panettiere from Heroes. Anyone here for Hayden Panettiere? Like, I know she's in, like, Dallas or something now. I know she was in a really... speaking of which, I need to play The Quarry, too. But she was in Until Dawn, which is one of my favorite PlayStation games of all time. I love Until Dawn. But I also need to play The Quarry on stream at some point in the near future, too, because I haven't played it yet and I own it. Oh, that would have been a fun game to play tonight. Anyways, we'll do it at some point in the near future. But, yeah. Hayden Panettiere was great. All right. See, the annoying thing is I played the boss and all my freaking souls are right with the boss. What are they called in this game? They're not souls, right? What are they? Blood Echoes, right? I think they're called Blood Echoes. Who didn't have a crush on her in Heroes? I'm sorry. Everyone of my generation who watched Heroes had some form of crush on Hayden Panettiere. Like, come on. How could you not? How could you not? Let me mess with the sound here. Let me know what the sound is on all this stuff. Alright. So, let's see. I'm also still getting used to the controls in this game. No, damn it! And I keep accidentally using my blood vials on accident, which is deeply annoying. You're one of my... NCC 1701, Chris, you're one of my favorites. You're wonderful. Ah, no, get away from me! Okay. Run away from the mean people. Oh my gosh, it's evil crows. Hi! Alright. I'm gonna try this. I want to see if I can beat this guy without any level ups. Because I don't want to lose my blood echoes at all. Even though there's only 5,000 of them. Which earnestly isn't a ton. Ow. Ow, stop with the hitting me. I don't like that. Oh, I didn't get... I keep hitting this triangle button, and it's not the button that I mean to hit. That's the button that I always mean to hit. Come on, bud. Hi, buddy. Okay, this thing's noises are disgusting. Like, seriously, whatever... Like, this cleric beast's noises are absolutely disgusting. Alright. Hi, buddy. No! Stop with the jumping! We do not like the jumping here. Ow! Alright. Alright, come on. Come on. No! Alright. No, you know what I still need to watch? I've never actually watched it, I kind of do. Ah, stop with the jumping! I kind of want to watch, Heroes... Does anyone remember Heroes Reborn? Did anyone here watch Heroes Reborn? That was like the spin-off series that they did. It was like the spin-off sequel series to Heroes that they did like 5 or 6 years after Heroes was over. And they brought back a lot of different people. I think they brought in... Who did they bring? It was, not Lee Pace. It was Zachary... Who was in Heroes Reborn? I keep getting... It's like Lee Pace and this other... Zachary Levi. That's who it was. For some weird reason, I always get Zachary Levi and Lee Pace confused with each other. I don't know why. I just always get those two confused. And so I kind of wanted to watch that show. No! Bad! Ah! Stop it! Hit you in the butt! Hit you in your butt! No! Okay, buddy. Yeah. Not Zachary Quinto. I think it's Zachary... Is it Zachary Levi? Am I crazy? And, wow, I feel really called out by you, Joel. I do a Muppets voice whenever things go wrong, don't I? I feel really called out by Joel right now. I feel really seen. Okay. Alright, buddy. Come on. Oh, that's a new move. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a thing. Thank gosh he didn't just throw me off the frickin' bridge. Alright, because that would have been... easy thing for him to do. Alright. I did not know this guy could grab you. I know, but it's hard for me to not... See, this is the thing, I don't know if I like Bloodborne as much. I don't like being as aggressive. I'm a much more defensive player. It's really hard for me. Someone just said, like, you're playing this like Bloodborne. It's hard for me because I am a much more defensive player in Dark Souls than I am an offensive player. So it's really kind of hard for me to play offensively in this game. I like to kind of strategize from back. And I know this game rewards being aggressive. Alright, fine. I'll try being aggressive. It's like I'm not fast enough to be aggressive. That's the problem. Wow, I keep meaning to switch to this one. Alright, we'll do this. Ow, ow, ow. Yeah, suck it! Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Alright. Yeah, right in the butt! Right in the butt! Oh no. Ow. Alright, bud. Stop with the... Oh, I see. I didn't actually know that was that little, like, orange bar. That's the amount of health you can gain back if you hit back. Oh. I actually did not realize that. I'm trying my best to read and play. Oh! No! And away! And away! Okay, 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 okay! Oh god! No! 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 Okay. Ow. Getting to the end here. Alright, we might be able to do this. No, get away! Ow, 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 ow. I'm gonna bungle this right at the end here, aren't I? No! Yep, I'm gonna bungle it right at the end! I knew it! I knew I was gonna do it! I knew I was gonna do it! Ah! I knew I was gonna do it. I knew I was gonna think. I misread you comment and thought you said Jess, you as a statement. I think this should be rephrased, Jessie. What will my spouse think if he catches me watching a stream of a fighting game? He won't believe me when I say I'm only here for the TV talk. TV crush talk. I'll talk TV crushes. I'll definitely talk TV crushes. Whenever I see the word Bloodborne, I think pathogens. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's not an incorrect thing. He bungled your mungle, now you gotta get back to your... Don't, no. No, Tommy. No. That sounds all sorts of inappropriate. All sorts of inappropriate. And I love it. My favorite part of Bloodborne has to be the Bloodborne saying, it's it's Bloodborne in time! Super chat above. Oh, I'm sorry. Andrew Clegg, I'm sorry I missed your super chat. You said, Jesse, if you like good... excuse me. If you like good-looking white dudes with Irish sweaters, Flock's bookmark, Cole McGinnis. Excuse me, I'm burping because I had the beer. Some Irish handsome... Let me see. We're gonna see this. We're gonna see... I will be the judge of handsome white boys in sweaters. Give me handsome white boys in sweaters. That is a very handsome white boy in a sweater, except for his first image is not a very good image of him. That's like an El Torre image. Like, you put this guy, you put Cole McGinnis. I don't know who this guy is. He looks like a singer. But his first image looks like he's being possessed by a demon if you look him up in Google. But he is a very sexy man in a white sweater. I mean, like I said, I'm here for the Chris Evans sexy white boy in a sweater. So, yeah. I'll check him out. Alright. You didn't get blocked. You didn't block. I don't think you did, Moonflower Gal. I think you're all good. Alright. Let's try. Alright, see, everyone says to be more aggressive in this game. I will try my best. I'm gonna try my ever-loving Freaky Friday best. Give me your blood vial. Also, can we talk about... I know that this is a thing in all the Dark Souls games, but I just find it hilarious that I can just drag these people's bodies around. Like, wee! I'm a child, but this is hilarious. Look at that. Oh, I feel... That just feels inappropriate. He looks like he's about to, like, do a disco. Go to a disco. Yeah! We're dancing! Whee! Okay. Whee! Oh, fun. Yeah, Dark Souls 1 ragdoll physics. Hi, buddy! Do you have a blood vial for me? No blood vial? Blood vial. Give me a blood vial. Nope, no blood vial. Okay. Time to farm from blood. I don't need a farm. I'm gonna go face the boss regardless. Hello. I'll just kill you and see. All these guys looks like they could have been in the Confederacy. Is that just me? It feels like every one of these dudes looks like they could have fought in the Confederacy. My dearest Jane, today I was fighting bloodborne demons outside of your lovely prairie home. Alright, let's see. Oh, shoot. I need to get... Ah, why is the computer messing up? There we go. Alright, let's try this again. Come on, bud. You and me again. Be besties again. Alright, I'm gonna try and be aggressive. Ow. Ow, stop with the punching. No. Aggressive is not... this is not the way. Oh, I actually should grab my blood echoes. That would probably be good. There's my blood echoes. Where are my blood echoes at? No. There we go. Okay, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Your stupid face. Gosh, this thing's noises are awful, and I love it. It's like a weird bird thing. No! Ah! Stop it with the... Ow! Oh, God, with the jumping. You just like to jump. You're very jumpy. Ooh, right in his face. Alright, I need to get more stamina back. You're Jesseing people's genders in the chat. I will Jesse all your genders. You're all of you official. I'm changing all of your genders. The only gender we accept here on this channel is Jessie. That's the only gender. I'm a Jessie, you're a Jessie, we're all Jessies. There is only one gender. Alright? Alright. What is he doing when he does that? Is he just like charging up, or what is that? Feels like he should like shoot something out, but he's not. Okay, yeah, I don't... No, I keep meaning to not... No! Ah, stop that. Stop it with the hitting me. Gosh darn. Okay, I think I'm starting to get... I think I start to understand how to do the health maneuver here. Alright. Okay. 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 Ow, with that right there. Okay, 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 okay. Give me a second. Alright, I gotta focus, everybody. It's getting all cranky again. Whoa! Ah! Roll! Roll, roll, roll. Okay. Whoo, whoo, whoo. Alright, I think I can do this. Ah, with the jumping! Always with the jumping! Stop it with the jumping! God damn it! Always right at the end here. Ah, we both just keep missing each other. And I'm on my last blood vial. This is why I should have farmed for blood vials. You were all right and I was wrong. I apologize. If I had full blood vials, I might be not in pickle here. Crap. I done fracked up. Ah, damn it. No. No! Damn it! Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it! Ah! Damn it. Alright. You are beautiful, Uji Drills. Apologies if I said your name wrong, but you are beautiful, Drills. I do know the patterns. I've got it down. I just need to... If I had actually gone Bloodborne blood vial farming, I would have been fine. So I just need to do some blood vial farming, and then I should be good. Thank you, Cheese Dancing Ostrich. I appreciate that. Love the beat. You are gorgeous. Yes, exactly. Everyone here is gorgeous. Oh, that's wonderful, Stacy Carnage. I'm sorry that you had to watch the music video, the video on music, but yes, yeah, no, I am autistic. Hell yes. I don't know why this is my autism symbol, but we'll make it one, I guess. Like, live long and prosper symbol, but hell yeah. Everyone here is gorgeous. Jessie is. Oh, I love you, Tommy. You are lovely. Alright. What is the best way to farm for blood vials here? Is it just run through those dudes? These weird dudes over here? Hi! Hello, buddy. Hello, friend. How are you? Do you have any blood vials? Please have a blood vial. No blood vial! Alright, you jerk. Think you got enough blood vials? Yeah, I know. I need to have, excuse me, a stash of blood vials. Alright, let's get some blood vials. Yay! It's the blood vial! Hey! Everyone loves... You got a blood vial? You got a blood vial? I got a blood vial. It's all blood vial! Oh god! Hello! I forgot about you. And those... There goes my souls. Damn it. There go those 5,000 souls that I had wrapped up in the boss. Never mind. That makes me sad. That's what I get for turning the corner. Wah, wah. Gold links to the physical Patreon. Yeah, it's weird. Mama Page, I don't know what's going on with that. But, weirdly, external links on YouTube, sometimes, like, lead to, like, broken links. I think YouTube breaks links, external links intentionally from YouTube, so that people don't leave YouTube, which is really kind of annoying, especially considering that Patreon is what pays the bills. I'm only going to share this just because you specifically asked, and not because I want to over-promote my Patreon, but I just put the Patreon link in the chat. I only put that there if you wish to support me. I'm only putting it there because you asked about it, not because I'm pushing for people to sub to my Patreon. But it is how I pay the bills. But it is annoying that YouTube does that. You would think that they wouldn't want their creators to, like, not pay the bills, but who knows? I am not YouTube, you know? They do their own things. Alright, let's see. Come on! Carry some blood. Start it with your face. Hey, got blood echoes. Hey! Aw, Queen, you're lovely. Aw. I'm glad you enjoyed my last two videos on Walsh. I have one more coming if you're into my Walsh phase, the Jessie Gender Matt Walsh phase. It's what we're in right now. Though I will say, so being honest with everybody, my next project that I'm like really working on, so I'm just gonna tell y'all, I'm actually, let me talk this out with all of you because I've been just thinking about it and it's honestly been causing me. Oh, Carlisle Cinephile. I'm a simple man. Jessie streams. I tune in. I donate a small super chat. Mwah! Oh, Carlisle Cinephile. Love you. Sending you chat. Love everybody. But yeah, no. I'm gonna talk this out with all of you because it's just something I'm sort of mulling in my head right now, and I want to like see how everyone's feeling about it. Because I'm not dead set firm on it yet, but I just want to. Oh, Drills. Thank you. Mwah! But I just want to, like, see how my audience feels about it and see what y'all think before I, like, commit to, like, a path for my next few projects. So, the next video I have coming out that I'm working on, which, by the way, shout out to Needless. If any of you haven't heard, Needless is a great video editor. He edited my first Matt Walsh video, and he's edited a bunch of videos for FD Signifier as well, which is how I met him. I asked FD who edits his videos, and he sent me to Needless, and Needless is great. You should all go subscribe to Needless' channel. Needless is a fantastic creator, writer, and editor. He's really, really good. Anyways, my next video I'm working on with Needless. Needless. Needlesses. Needless. No, sorry, no ES. So just Needless. Just the word Needless. Exactly. Favorite South Park character? Oh, I've since fallen out of love with a lot of South. I used to love South Park as a kid. I kind of don't like South Park much anymore, even though I still watch it. Kyle, probably Kyle. No, Butters. Who am I thinking? Butters is the best character. But yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of South Park much anymore. It's it's like the more libertarian politics. Even though I know they're not right leaning necessarily, I still kind of bugs me. And some of their transgender takes have been deeply offensive. Most especially the transgender in sports episode they did, I thought was terrible and stupid. Andrew Clegg, please stop spamming South Park is dead. I appreciate you. I don't disagree with you, but we don't want to spam it here. I will put you in a timeout if I need to, not to get you. Andrew Clegg, please don't spam. I love you, but please don't spam. Anywho, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate you. But yeah, I would say probably Butters. But yeah, I have not been a huge fan of South Park for a while. Anywho, what was I just thinking? I'll keep farming for stuff. Anyways, the thing that I wanted to talk about, actually, because I need to get blood files. So while we farm for blood files, let me talk out some stuff with all of you and let you hear what I was thinking. So I'm doing my Matt Walsh video. I'm done the Nightfall. If you want to chat, just agenda right now. I'm done the Nightfall. I don't know what you mean, Aeronok. But anyways, what was it? Keep getting distracted from the thing I'm gonna say. Finishing the Matt Walsh video. It's going to be a big video. It's probably gonna be over 2 hours, maybe 3. And I'll show you all what I was working on later on the stream. I actually meant to show you earlier. You've been a support without knowing it for years. I'm finally in a position. Oh, thank you, Mama Paige. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. I'm glad I could support in any way. Send you love, Mama Paige. I appreciate you very much, and thank you so much for the super chat. I keep getting distracted, but no, I want to make sure Mama Paige is more important than me talking out stuff. Anywho, so the next video is the Matt Walsh video. I am very excited to do that video because it's I think it'll be as fun as I can make that topic be, and I think it'll be very helpful for people as well. I think it'll basically goes through every single argument in Matt Walsh's film and shows how he lies about it, makes stuff up, provides misinformation, and only provides half truths on a lot of stuff. And I'm going to use it as like a way to begin conversations around larger anti-transgender narratives. So it's just using the film as a good debunking way, a good way to debunk a lot of different stuff that just Matt Walsh happens to be touching upon. However, I will be very honest, focusing in on that film and on Matt Walsh for so long, the past like month and a half, 2 months, has not been mentally super healthy, to be very frank. It's kind of put me in very kind of upsetting places, both making the videos, and I see the super chats, I'll see them and get to them in a second, but doing the videos, and then also just like comments. I mean, don't get me wrong, like 80 to 90% of the comments on my videos, because the community here is so wonderful, are great. But then especially with the first Matt Walsh video, there was a bunch of really shitty people and stuff, and like, look, they're not going to make me feel bad about being trans. Like, their arguments are dumb or stupid. It honestly, it just hurts because it's like, you don't make content for people to just come at you and be mean, you know, right? Like I know most people who watched the video liked it. I know it was helpful for a lot of people. But I also don't make the video to be a target of people attacking me, you know, right? Like, that's not the purpose of it. It's not the reason I make content! Oh my gosh, hello, guys! Yeah, stab me in the face, you jerks. But anywho, so it's not been mentally super healthy to be in that place. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a break after the next video comes out. And then I have a couple of videos that I've already written/shot that I'll be coming out with after that. Because I want my next big video to focus on to be sex in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And that one I want to make. Hey, Bellamy, good to see you. I want that video to be super, super awesome. Like, I want to go all out with Sex and Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and when I say all out, I mean I want to kind of save a little bit of money. I have a friend who has a bar, like not owns the bar, but like works at a bar here in Seattle. That I might want to like rent out and make my own faux Quarks bar for a set and everything. I only tell you all that because that's the first thing that I want to do for the video, not the last. So like I want that video to be super special, but it means that that because that video is going to be really big and really kind of something special, it might be a little bit of extra time between videos when I do that, which makes me kind of nervous because I'm used to like putting out content really quickly, and I do have some backup videos that I'll work on in the meantime. But I also know that I want to put most of my focus on this one to make it really special. And then I also have some side. I know you're talking about Cyberquaker. Oh, I see what you're saying, Aeronaut. Yeah. Possibly, yeah. Give me a second. I'll have you on in just a second. Let me just finish my thought, and then I would love to have you on. What was I saying though? But I also have some other side projects that I'm going to be working on that I can't announce yet because I'm still working on them. But I have some side projects that I'm working on, that I think are going to be fun, but they're not going to be for the YouTube channel, but they'll be YouTube adjacent, and I'll talk about them when I get there. But it'll be kind of fun. Stop with your pity face. Stop with away. Yeah, get away your face. You're all silly away faces. So anyways, that's my plan for content coming up. So, does that sound good to everybody? Like, finish Matt Walsh. I have a few like other projects that I think will be good, but then the next like big one after Matt Walsh Part 2 is Sex and Star Trek Deep Space Nine. So that's my kind of thinking on it. All right. And Aeronaut, I would love to have you on in just a second. Let me get to a place where I'm not in particular danger. I feel like I'm in somewhat danger here because I feel like people walk up and down this street fairly regularly. Where's a good spot to hide? I feel like I'm safe here. Okay. Ooh, that was a weird noise. Aeronaut, so are you on Discord? Let me know if you're on Discord, because is everyone cool to bring Aeronaut in? I mean, it's my channel, so I'll do what I want, but I'm assuming all of you are cool with Aeronaut. Alrighty. Let's see. Trying to think of the best way to do this. Alright, let's do it. Alright. I don't think anyone's gonna hear Aeronaut. Let me, just yet. Alright, I'm gonna get Aeronaut on. I'm calling you Aeronaut right now. I don't know if you hear me or not. Can you hear? Alright, I got you on the call, but I can't hear you. One second, give me a second. Do I have you routed through the right thing? Give me a second. Why can't I hear you? Can you say something now? Now I can hear you. There you are. Okay, let me see. I'm going to put you on audio. Now people on the stream should be able to hear you. Yeah, let me know, everybody, if you can hear Aeronaut. Also, how are you doing?
I am lovely.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you are. Can everyone...
Experience to work. One sec, my webcam thing will work in a second. There we go.
No way.
I'm in like...
Oh my gosh. Everything's green. So much green.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just have a random blanket up on the wall. Oh, my hair is like really poofy right now.
We all got poofy hair times. One second, I'm going to get you set up so they can actually see you real quick.
There, that'll look better. And then I'm just kind of in like a random t-shirt.
Hey, you're the one that asked, so I'm putting you on the spot. Let me just get everything hooked up. All right, can everyone hear?
That was way bluer than I meant it to be.
Everyone can hear Aeronaut, correct? Okay, everyone can hear you. Now I'm gonna see if I can make sure they can see you. All right, I think everyone can see you now. Just so you're aware. Don't do anything crazy. Don't like murder somebody because everyone will see that. Except for Tendi. The only weird thing is I think Tendi is like on top of my Remember You're Beautiful now. She's like floating there.
Beautiful, incredible.
You know what? That's
She
where
should
she
be.
that's where she should be. She's just gonna hide over the Remember now.
I'm really
Hello.
sorry, actually, 'cause-
Everyone can see and hear Aeronaut, correct? Everyone let me know if in the chat if everyone can't. And then I know you can't hear the game right now, but I will should kind of be able to hear the moans of creepy people.
of creatures.
of creatures and monsters. How you doing?
I a little tired, but I'm doing lovely actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. New place.
Hell yeah.
I'm actually editing a video again, so
I know. I saw. Is it the one that you sent me the script for? That I've
yes,
I
yeah,
have.
the
I
one
have.
that you have a little voice cameo in.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. I've glanced over the script. I haven't had a chance to sit down and actually read it through, so I apologize. Ah! Sorry, there's a man.
I will turn up my gain a little bit. Is that better, chat?
Oh, it also might be my end. I can see if that's better. Also, let's see if I can pop this up. It's just the way I have this now. They might be able to hear you a little bit louder now.
Perfect. Also,
There
my
we
like
go.
is just being fun. So.
Hey, you're all good. How was the move?
It was a move and it sucked. As all moves kind of do, they all have their own unique like suckage that you have to deal with, and then eventually it's done and things are good and you're in a new place. But
I always, to be fair, so the place I'm living at right now is the place that I've lived like that I've lived for the longest amount of time since like college, I think. Like I've lived here for 2 years at this point, which I've never actually done because I used to move basically every year. Which I actually now when did you get here?
I think your tabs or something changed.
Oh,
on the stream.
I know what happened. I know what happened.
Shibe.
One second. There now they. Oh shoot! Dang it! There now they should see you. Sorry, I had it. I see what I'm doing to get you on screen is I just have a screen capture thing, which is just
screen cap. It's the easy way.
Yeah.
So I had to paint the entire place, which was fun because the previous people, their kid had drawn on literally every single wall in
like
the street that I'm in.
Kids did, or like
like clearly. Well, the person that lived here before, they had a kid, and the kid had taken and it wasn't like they drew things on the wall. It's more like they just took a marker and scribbled all over the place. And their solution to cover this up, rather than actually, wash the walls, was to buy a white paint that didn't match the wall.
Yeah.
And just and it didn't actually cover it either. So now there's 2 shades of white and kid scribble.
That's amazing.
So I got a nice white paint and put it everywhere, and then threw up a green screen wall in my office,
which I still need to do. You're already ahead of me in that. I have a green screen wall. I just haven't put it up actually, which is funny.
I'm renting the place, but thankfully I've pretty wide leeway to set things up. So
that's pretty nice.
But yeah, I didn't do videos for 4 months because I was working a horrible job where I got treated like garbage, and now I'm back.
that's how capitalism works. It's like, oh yeah, don't do anything that is healthy for anybody except for making specific people money, and don't do anything that you care about. That's how that should work, right?
Yeah, in this case, it was a lot more just patriarchy issues than capitalism.
Oh, fun! I mean, they're all intrinsically
they're
tied.
Always fun. Yeah.
But I'm sorry, that sucks. I'm glad that you're out of that situation, though.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about anything beyond that. But that's
fair.
I wasn't on hiatus for 4 months.
I wasn't gonna push on that front, but yeah.
But yeah.
No, bad doggy, bad demon dog. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Next script is I'm so excited for this next script. I genuinely think it's my best work.
I glanced, just a tease for everybody in the chat. I haven't read the full script, but I've looked through it and I was really impressed by what I just saw, just having done a quick read through. It looks really, really cool.
Yeah, it's.
I don't want to spoil what it is because I don't know if you want people to say that.
Yeah, I'll say the vague premises, but I won't give any details.
Mm-hmm.
the script is called Queer Relativity. It's kind of uh, it's kind of a film. It's kind of an academic paper on queer theory that's introducing a new concept that is also kind of an academic paper for linguistics, but is also just a bunch of art analysis of about like a dozen different films all at the same time.
It's no. Again, I haven't like read through it like piece by piece, but just glancing, I was like, this is really cool because it's about. You know, I wrote my own piece that I actually shot but never actually released because I'll tell the story of it in a minute. But it was about it was using Doctor Who to talk about queer relativity and how queer people like experience time differently. Yours is much better and much smarter. It means that I never want to make it.
I love that you're already using the term that I invented.
Yeah. No, it's a great term. I mean, I there's a good book. If anyone's ever read it, it's like I think it's like a graphic novel on gender or whatever. But they also use Doctor Who as like I wrote my thing before I found that. But they also talk about like the relative time of queerness, and I know there's a lot of authors that have used it. But the term queer relativity is a really good term.
And no one's ever put it contextualized within linguistic relativity.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could find like a lot of there's a lot of writing about queer temporality and the like relative experiences within that and like how queer people experience that stuff, but there's nothing that like really focuses in on specifically relativity as it relates to both the language and to the
oh, sending you love NCC 17 Chris. Sorry, I was just
but anyway. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Cut me off if I'm talking.
No. I was actually going to ask you before you got too far into this. Because first off, Andrew Clegg was asking who you are, Aronach. This is Aronach. Aronach is wonderful, an amazing video creator, an amazing writer, has been a co-writer on several of my videos, like the James Gunn video, but also has made a bunch of their own videos.
I still don't know how to like emotionally recover from James Gunn seeing our video.
He was in the chat, and I was kind of like, what? And it was kind of surreal, and I had just had surgery. Sorry, this is just a side. I don't think I've ever told anyone on the stream this, because I had just had surgery when that video premiered. So I'm quite literally like in a bandage, like barely able to talk, just sitting here watching the chat of like the video go by. It's like a 2.5 hour long video. I'm just sitting here like vegging out watching this stream and just like kind of engaging in the chat. Then all of a sudden James Gunn is in the stream and I'm like, oh God, how do I engage with this while I'm in this condition right now?
Yeah, no, and yeah, it was really cool that you got to see that. I mean, like I've had 2 other brushes with the people that I'm writing about seeing the thing I wrote, which is Mike Flanagan seeing the Midnight Mass video. Mm-hmm. Which, yeah, fun fact, he actually found the critique that I made about that one line interesting and expressed how like they very much didn't intend that. But anyway, if you see my video, you know what I'm talking about with the one line, but I'll just like leave it vague. I don't know. This is how you get people interested.
It's like, I'm just cool. It's fine. No big deal. Did I just... Where did all my blood vials go?
Oh no.
I've been farming blood vials this whole time and now they're gone. Did I use them like a crazy person? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. That's more important. I'm just like, I've been farming blood vials and I've now blood vialist and I don't know what happened. Anyways, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're all good. Yeah, so but still, it's just like really wild, like that James Gunn saw it and responded to it.
And he actually
I shared it and everything. Like
and he shared it and he actually just because he didn't say too much like of like depth, but it was just like he sent me a very nice. I think I shared it with you. He sent me a very nice DM.
Yeah, you sent me that. Like I think we can keep that between you, me, and James Gunn. But
I think it just yeah. I won't share any specifics of what he said. I just think it's fine if I just say like he sent a very nice like private message and said that was a good video. So I was very appreciative.
Yeah,
of that.
It was quite nice. It was cool to have that validation and yeah, like I just really enjoy when stuff gets actually. No, my favorite instance of this is Robert Brooks, who writes for Destiny 2.
Oh, I remember you telling me this.
Yeah. He's one of the queer writers on their stuff, and I did a video on queerness in Destiny 2 and why it mattered to me and why it's like a really unique form of representation in how it's written and how it's sort of this aspect of like an imagined future where even in this very post-apocalyptic setting, there is just no queer phobia. It just isn't there. We've moved beyond it, like, as a species in the setting, in a way that, like, I don't think even Star Trek has ever really achieved with its writing.
No.
But it's still like identity conscious writing. Like, it's not identity blind writing. It's identity conscious writing that avoids engaging in harmful tropes, that avoids a lot of the things that
well, because like I think the argument
attempts at ignoring, because it doesn't ignore the identity, it just doesn't feel like it doesn't have the same type of like, there isn't bigotry involved. It's just sort of like,
because the argument,
the lore, and you're like, oh, Oryx is a trans man, I guess.
Well, because you were just like bringing up Star Trek, because like the argument that people who watch Star Trek who aren't like, who want to be like sort of try to excuse the problems that it has, will be like, well, there might be gay people, they just never made a big deal out of it. They were in the background, you saw it behind the scenes. It's like, yes, just because like in Star Trek always had like homophobic problems because of Rick Berman. But even if we ignored those aspects of it, it's like there was never like a conscious awareness of like queerness is like part of the landscape and world, which it seems like there is the case with Destiny.
Yeah, whereas with Destiny, it's very conscious. It's stuff where you will just stumble on it, but it is explicitly acknowledged in a very natural way. It's things like Devram Kay just saying something about his husband, sending him something. You know, it's like these little things where, because they're so omnipresent, because so many characters in the cast are queer, and because that queerness is just sprinkled all over the lore and the voice lines and everything, you're just going to kind of encounter it, and it's going to feel very normalized in this world. And what's great about that too is, because it's so normalized and because it's so well distributed, we get to have fun queer villains that never engage in like queer phobia because they're queer people that are villains. Like, it doesn't have that. Like, I mentioned Oryx, who's a trans man. Oryx is like one of the like raid bosses that we fight. He's kind of a major character. He was the main villain for an entire year. Like, very, very important character.
Also, I just want to pause you just a hot second.
Yeah.
I do see the super chats, everybody. I will respond in a second. I just want Aaron to finish what they're saying. But sorry, I keep going. I just wanted to let everyone know that I do see the super chats. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So like but anyway, sorry. So because this, I've gotten to become like mutuals with Robert on Twitter, and sometimes we chat about stuff and things. And he's just like a really cool dude. He's really good creative, and I just really appreciate that he got to see that. Like, I said, anytime I get really nice comments on that video, I send them to him, because I know how much it matters to know that your writing affects people positively. And like, because he'd have to fight to have like aspects of that queerness in there. Not so much with Bungie, but this was like before Bungie split from Activision. Activision was, Activision.
Activision was Activision. Yeah, no, I've been doing stuff for GameSpot. I can't talk specifically just yet about it, but I'm like working on a project for GameSpot, and I've been having conversations about queerness with like different like creators for that series that I'm doing with them. And it's like, it's a lot of that. It's really cool. But I do hear a lot of those stories too, where it's like, yeah, it's like the company I was at was pretty cool, but then Mr. Big Giant developer man or publisher man, I guess you should say, came in and was big jerk face about the queerness. Sorry, I'm trying to put in the mildest possible terms. Big jerk face with the homophobia, you know the big jerk faces are. As I'm like murdering monsters in a Bloodborne world, I'm like trying to be all like, yeah, he's Mr. Meanie Face. I don't know why I'm putting it that way. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, there's just something really cool about when you get to write something and the creator of the thing you're writing about gets to engage with that work and hear what you said.
No, I know I won't say who it was, but one of the biggest things for me that like really meant a lot to me was I won't say the name of this creator, because I don't want it to be said what they like attached to the person, but I actually met this creator in person, and this creator literally was like, yeah, there was a lot of toxic stuff going on about the project that I was making, and I honestly didn't know if I wanted to like be a creator anymore because of it. And then I encountered your videos, and it's like, oh, this like really meant a lot to me, and like it saw that someone was like resonating with the thing that I was making, and it really meant a lot to me. And like that had me start to cry a little bit, and it was like one of the most like meaningful things because I really love this person's art, and it's like it's just nice to like connect with creators on stuff like that. It's just it was one of the most meaningful things in my life, to be honest.
I think often people place more famous individuals or whatever on a pedestal that is separate from understanding them as a person.
That they like can't be hurt as like a person, or yeah.
Yeah. Well, and also just that they. Yeah, it's not just the hurt. I think it's the full range of emotions. Like I think they're kind of placed. They're almost objectified in a certain way, and that is sad and frustrating, but it's also just an interesting thing to also experience to a degree. Like even with the very, very, very relatively small amount of reach I have, you know. But also just like talking with a lot of YouTubers that are much more famous, and even celebrities, you know. Like I think a lot of people really forget that just because you've been successful or whatever, like you're not like you are affected by these things, and that's a good thing and a bad thing. You know, it means that like when you say really hurtful shit on the internet, you might actually hurt them, you know, and on the other end of that, like if you say really positive stuff, you might actually encounter that. And I think that's part of why I focus on art that I like, or even aspects of the art that I find valuable, rather than the aspect of the art that I find hurtful or harmful or whatever. And I always bring up the harmful part, like I never ignore it, but I just think it's like,
well, because like yeah,
I don't think I could make a video about. Okay, there's one time that I did actually write a script that was like this, because it was too funny not to write it when I thought of it. It was too good, but I think I've actually read it to you, Jessie.
Which one was it?
My rant about how horrible Dear Evan Hansen is.
Oh, I think you did. I vaguely remember this.
That is one where I genuinely do not care if I upset the people who made it.
It's like, yeah, they can. Also,
and I have nothing positive to say.
I don't think anyone does. But also I want to just quick before we get too far. There's just a couple super chats that I don't want to get too far from. Seamus Burke, heart to you. You said, "Hey Jessie, sorry I missed you at Rose City, but hope you had fun. Hoping to make this video. Hoping to having vid on humor and Star Trek done soon. We'll DM when done if that's okay with you. Yes, please do, Seamus. I would actually love to see that. So one of the videos that I pre-scripted that I was mentioning earlier is a video where I go through the timeline of Star Trek, but as funnily as possible. So it'd be fun to like. I would love. Let me put it this way: if Seamus, if yours is done when that's done, and I think it's a good video, I would love to like promote it and share it. So please like share it with me. That would be amazing. Brutus, you said, hey, is there a way I could talk to you or someone in your community personally? I have a trans family and going through things. Yeah, the best suggestion I would make is I do have I do have a Discord, and there are people that you can talk to on the Discord. It is through Patreon, but seriously, like it's $1 to get into Patreon, and on that Discord, like it's $1, and you can even cancel before the end of the month. So if you need to talk to somebody, there's like go out, sign up to my Patreon for $1, get in the Discord, and then cancel. And that'll be totally fine. I won't have any problem with that, Brutus. And so I hope it helps your family as well. That's the best advice that I can have. But then there's also organizations to go to that are much more professional. But if you just want to have casual community conversations, that's helpful. Violet, heart to you. Lisa, you said, I'm thinking of changing my name to Latina Ford Duntius. Apologies if I'm saying that wrong. A Hio character from Konosuba when I update my marker. Could that be a viral content? It would be an interesting one. But that's a cool name. I love that. And then Aronok, this one's for you, actually.
Oh.
Andrew Clegg said, Aronok, I subscribed to your channel a couple months ago, and I watched several vids you've recommended. I know I'm not an internet personality, but I'm very happy with your recommendations. So that's for you.
Oh, thank you.
And I think you are wonderful. Okay.
Yeah, I try to shout out good videos.
Hell yeah. So cool, awesome. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I went through all those, and then also there was one from Drills. I missed yours. She said I want to speak to the manager. Sorry, I think it's probably because I missed some super chats. So hard to see you. Anyways, sorry. Wanted to get back to what you're saying because you were because it was just resonating with me. We were talking about like it might hurt the creator and the creator is objectified, and then like it was just an interesting sort of thing that like because I was just talking about the Matt Walsh video earlier that I did.
Yeah.
And it's a similar. I mean, those people were intentionally trying. Like, there's a difference between people being like, I'm angry at Star Trek or Marvel or whatever.
Yeah.
But like those people were like actually trying to hurt a trans person. But it's still just sort of like I don't think they like see they. I mean, they clearly don't see me as like a human being. And it's just an interesting thing too with like other creators like making art as well. It's just an interesting connection. I was just making.
Like I can't think of how many times that I couldn't count how many times like Lady Night and I have just talked about like shitty comments that we've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'll often vent about it to each other because I feel like if you never talk about it, you just kind of start like it like weighs on you, you know. But if you're like
about how
yeah,
you need to like be like this is stupid, right? And it's for your own like mental health. Like this is someone being stupid, correct?
Yeah. I wouldn't use that language, but I would say like I always like this is shitty. Empathize with it, and then we're done. Like that's because I think there's an aspect of letting emotions go when we write things, you know, and even just like in a message or whatever. There's an aspect of letting an emotion out. It's uncorking the bottle as well, and that way you just feel a little bit instead of you bottle it, it blows up, and you're just like overwhelmed and like. Because like 99.9999 whatever amount of nines you want to say of the time, I really don't find that the harassment I get really affects me, and it's not because it's not like horrific, and I get gotten some truly horrific harassment in my time, and I know you have too, Jessie, but it's just, and I think this happens at a heightened level to anyone that has any sort of attention on the internet. But I think it happens pretty much to anyone else on the internet to some degree. You know, I think there's a derealization that occurs often in the systemic design of these websites that results in unsavory types not caring about the effect of what they're saying or what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. I agree too. It's something that like I'm in agreement with you. It was something that like I really experienced, and I was trying to articulate it earlier. It's easier for me to do it in a conversation, than just like ranting to myself or when I'm writing. But like the experience I had with the Matt Walsh Part 1 video, because that one just got hit with like his audience because they're on YouTube just like comes into that one a lot, and I'm actually using.
They seek it out.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I actually have. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, you go first.
No, I was just saying. Well, they do seek it out, and it like and the algorithm regurgitates to them because like his whole brand is like building up on like just tearing down and destroying trans people. I mean, that's what the video I did earlier yesterday was about. It's just all about tearing down trans people and destroying them mentally, physically, and whatever, financially, whatever way they can. But like and I'm using some of the comments that they have in my next video on Matt Walsh. In fact, the thing that I was going to show earlier is you. I'll show it to you when we're off camera.
Yeah.
But anyways, the thing that I experienced with that, and that's why it was like hard for my mental health, was they did come in and there was a big swarm of those comments, and the feeling wasn't like the feeling that hurt my mental health wasn't like, oh, they made me feel bad because I'm trans, or they got to me, or they like hit on some truth of like they like really tore me down. The harassment aspect of it that got to me was one, just feeling sad that people like this existed, that like felt like that this was okay. It made me just sad to encounter that, and that just kind of put me in a funk. And I know that that's like, especially considering like a lot of what I try to do is to try to like push back against that sort of dehumanization of people. And again, it's not something I can destroy by myself. It's not going to be something I'm going to tear down by myself. And so not taking it on is like a personal burden. but it is something that I felt. And then also just like the other aspect of what I was saying too is like I don't make a thing to get that. Like I make a thing to hopefully help people who see it to like learn something / people, especially for that video, to make people who saw it be like, yeah, no, I feel like, okay, the thing that I've been thinking in my head is affirmed. Because I don't necessarily think that first video, just because the way that I insulted Matt and like made jokes about Matt in that video, I don't necessarily think that video is, the next video I'm doing is meant to be more of a converting video, because I'll go through all the different stuff. But I don't think that one was meant to convert people. It's more to be like, yeah, you are right in that this film was not meant to be kind in any way, and it's okay to feel that and know that, so.
Yeah, no, I think there's those complex lines to walk on when we do this type of work. Like I think the best example of this with my work is the Midnight Mass video in particular. That that one was difficult in certain ways, and I think there's a version of that script that could have existed. But I don't think I would have made it another way. You know what I mean? But like, there is a version of that script that exists in me emotionally that is like Judith by Perfect Circle kind of energy. if you know that song, you understand what I mean. Like, it's because, yeah, you know what, I have a lot of trauma and a lot of anger and a lot of those feelings towards Christians, very rightfully so, but like finding a productive way of engaging that conversation, I think, was requiring like a complex line of both empathy and complete unacceptance of aspects of how they construct the way they view people and the world around them, and like it was a very tough line to balance, because I was trying to stay 100% true to my feelings and the honest experiences that I have with that, and like not downplay the seriousness of that aspect, while at the same time making it somewhat watchable to very, very, very Christian people. And that was a really, really, really tough line to walk the entire way through. And I think, yeah, like there's a version of that script that is just anger.
Yeah, and I mean,
I don't think it would be as good. Like, it'd be a worse message, but like, yeah,
it's a difficult one, and it's like sometimes I feel like it's one that I struggle with too, as like creator, because I look at that first Matt Walsh video, and there's an aspect of it, because I actually wrote that first video, is actually part of like the first and second part were written together, and I think I shared it with you, that script, and I split it up mostly. Been
brutally busy and not that space for
no
transphobia, just because I was dealing with so much, as I briefly mentioned earlier. So like, it's been tough, because I've really been like disengaging from a lot of that stuff, and I've got this weird mix of like guilt because I feel like I should know what's going on, and also just like I don't have the mental space for this when I'm dealing with things in
you don't have to expound upon that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I totally understand. Because I don't know, like I said, that first video, I feel like I wrote it as together with the first part, with the second part, and releasing it as just one part, I realized like the first part is going to be less about convincing people than it would be to just be more speaking to people who already kind of agreed with me, but they needed words to like express why his film was bad, and not it was disingenuous from the start. But there's an aspect of me that was like upset by it, because it's like I knew I wasn't converting the people that I like would hope to that I would like want to reach with that video, because it was like the Matt Wells people just being awful, and I don't think like they would come into that video being open to hearing the message.
But I think there is a reality that
the second video I think is going to do better about. But
yeah, but like talk about conversion and things, and I think it's important to understand that like a lot of these people don't want to hear another perspective.
Oh, of course not. Yeah.
Right. Like they're not coming to listen, and so there's a reality that like there's a point where you can't really like actually catering to them damages.
Oh, the work, yeah,
a little bit, like your work and also yourself a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's sort of the I like to call it the fascists can't understand satire rule.
Yes.
Which is that no matter how ridiculous you make a satire about fascism, fascists will still enjoy it and want it to be real.
Yep. No, that I'm very. There is actually a rule. There is actually a rule on Wikipedia that actually is about that. I forget what it's called off the top of my head.
Someone else is like, I'm not surprised that other people have discussed it, but yeah, that's kind of like a general one I think about is just like. So, I think it's also important to understand that like someone who's a hardcore Matt Walsh fan probably isn't going to change their mind if you're polite to them. And I actually find that discomfort is a particularly powerful tool when engaging with particularly toxic spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Because so much of their bigotry is about comfort. Mm-hmm. It's about validating their comfort. It's about wanting access to comfort. And so when you actively refuse to allow them to be comfortable in their bigotry, it won't affect them right away. Like the first, the immediate response you're gonna get is probably animosity and a like shutting down. But it does that thing of planting the seed, and I think that's often with those types.
No, yeah,
because they have talking about with conversion, I think is really valuable in the people who are kind of on the fence.
Well, yeah,
they're technically for Matt Walsh. Like, if you're on the fence of human rights things, you are on the side of the oppressors. But
oh yeah,
but I think reaching those types of people is very frustrating because they often expect so much respectability.
Well, exactly. It is. It's going back to. Sorry, I'm also playing this, but no. I just wandered into an area where I was like, "Oh, Wolfman murders me with one hit." I'm not going that way. But no, it goes into this idea that you were talking about. Oh God, what was the idea? Sorry, before I get murdered here. The thing that this idea that, yeah, that's what it was. Like the seed of doubt idea is a lot of what conservative thinking, I mean it more as like a philosophy, is just this idea, this adherence to like the way that it has always been is inherently better because it's just there must be some intrinsic knowledge in it by the nature of the fact that it's just like what we take as without question. It's like this seeming knowledge passed down from generations, and as a result that is inherently better because it is tradition. And a lot of it comes out of the fact that they haven't been given a chance to think about the world in a way that is new. It's just like, oh, you haven't been exposed to the ability to think about the world in a new way. And so I do think like exposing people, even if they don't take to it right away, to just a new concept or a new way that the world can be and a new way that the world can exist is really, really helpful. And I think sometimes like challenging them on it is really, yeah.
Like in my experience, I think it's just being unflinching about it. Like like you can't compromise with these types of people because if you give an inch, they'll take a mile. Mm-hmm. But like, it's so hard for them to deal with the minorest amount of discomfort of any kind because privilege, I think, in a lot of ways is about entitlement to comfort.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sense like entitlement and discomfort are really, really important concepts, I think, in understanding privilege and how we engage with understanding privilege, because Yeah.
Well, I think. Oh,
sorry.
No, please.
So like, I think a lot of times people get really frustrated when trying to argue with right wingers, and they go, "Oh, these right wingers are all illogical," and this frustrates me because pretty much everybody doesn't understand logic. Sorry, I'm a computer scientist. Like I know way too much about this topic. I'm particularly adept in two fields, which is logic and artificial intelligence research. So, on these two things, I will be a slightly as much like I know the.
Well, as you know, I happen to be an
like
expert.
it's not an ability thing. It's not an ability thing. It's just that like I have spent way more time learning about this than 99.9% of the population, and I can prove it. Like,
well, it's also like just not to distract you too hard from the point, but it's just one thing that it's one thing that I always like to do with my videos, because I see a lot of people argue that like, oh, to like knock down right-wing rhetoric, you just need to just like here break down their ideology, and I'm fine with breaking down their ideology, but one thing that I always try to do in my videos, like the most recent one that I did yesterday, where I end on talking about the anger that I was feeling and expressing, and then sort of trying to change it at the end, is like being like, we could talk about breaking down the logic of the ideology, quote unquote, all day, like how this thinking works, but ultimately a lot of what guides it and a lot of what underpins it is a lot of like emotional energy. And so what I always try to do with with a lot of the work that I do is try to be like, here's the thoughts, and here's all the like, here's the citations, here's the theory, here's the ideas, here's the concepts, but then here's the emotions that's actually underpinning it, both from like what I'm feeling and what I think a lot of people are feeling, like going through it, and then also like what other people who may be feeling this sort of hateful ideology might be coming from, so that they might actually, because it's like I think emotion is ultimately what guides a lot of people, and guides everybody. And so I think that's what I try to do with a lot of the content, is just to guide people through the emotions behind all the stuff. At least that's what I try to do. Also, you have a whiteboard, which makes me very excited.
Okay, so I'm going to explain a little bit about how conservative logic functions.
Do it. Give me the whiteboard.
To understand before I explain this, a tiny bit of what logic is. Logic is not a religion. And that sounds weird, but it's really important because a lot of people worship at the altar of logic. Debate bros are particularly guilty of this. And they are, I say this with as much, like, I have watched enough of how they function and enough of them comment on logic to know this. Debate bros understand less about logic than almost anybody else. And part of the problem is that a lot of people treat their premises as everyone's premises. So in logic, we've kind of three major terms I'm going to touch on. I'm going to explain them really lightly. It's not the pure academic explanation. This is very much, I'm trying to make this accessible. But premises are things that we've just decided are what they are, whether that's true or false or whatever it is. But we have decided that in our hypothetical world, the premise is just true. And this sounds weird, but like it's we'll get to it. Assumptions are things that we think are true but don't know. So premises often, though not always, are going to be built in data, in provable, repeatable, observed data, to a degree. But yeah, so like I'm
also just to let you know, I'm listening. I'm just also facing the boss too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give the simplest proof in logic. It's really simple. Premise. Truth is truth. I'm not using proper citation, like notation, but it's fine. I'm again.
How dare you?
This is
in this Bloodborne stream. How dare you take shortcuts with your teachings?
Okay. So truth is truth. Duh, obviously that. But no, this is actually really relevant because all of logic is based on this, and I've genuinely seen someone say that tautology is a logical fallacy. Like a debate person said that. and I wanted to have I think I had like a 5-paragraph rant to one of my friends about it because it pissed me off so much. But seriously, the proof that truth is truth, it like kind of gets across a little bit of what logic is. So, yay, premise. Okay, I'm gonna make an assumption about our logic world. It's very interesting writing upside down. Assumption. Truth is false. Well, I would like to greet you all with the definition for a contradiction.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Okay, so, yay. That can't be true because of our premise. Mm-hmm. So proof by contradiction. Awesome. Now we know that truth exists. But here's a really important statement.
Hi, Riff.
We have the premise in this logic world that truth can exist. That's really important. Because philosophically,
I was to say, because a lot of philosophers like there is no eternal truth. Yeah.
So
well, it's also something that's
where it gets that's where it gets interesting though, because to have logic, we have to make certain premises about the world. Basically, we have to make certain decisions that things are just like with just this information. I can prove to you all of addition, subtraction, multiplication, the entirety of mathematics as a field, and pretty much most of logic. It sounds weird.
Well, no. It's you. Sorry, you're just. I don't mean to.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
It's just something that's really interesting to me because if you watch a lot of it's not just in his film. I'm just sorry, my brain's just in Matt Walsh because of where it is.
Because Matt Walsh is relevant to this.
Well, exactly. Well, his whole a lot of his rhetoric relies on this idea of the truth. Like he constantly uses the phrase "the truth" in What Is a Woman in a lot of his films and in a lot of his videos. He constantly has this I am talking about the truth. But his presupposed truth, which is what I talk about in part 1, is his presumption of what is truth is actually not based in any sort of scientific merit, but is a presumed truth within conservative spaces in that man equals vagina, woman equals penis, or you know what I meant. Man equals penis, woman equals vagina. And it's just that presumed truth that is without question, and that's the premise that they're starting with as they're going to take that as truth, and we're not going to accept anything else. And so the entire exercise of What Is a Woman is trying to just that second step that you just made is everything else that they're saying is just a contradiction, and just laughing at the contradiction as opposed to actually investigating it with an interesting with curiosity and actually exactly. Sorry, you're hitting upon all that.
I was going to say, which is awesome. This is exactly what I want, because the point is, most logic paths, right, start from point A and go down to point B. Sorry, I'm writing backwards, so it's a little messy, right? But here's what's really, really important. Most conservatives start with things like trans people are evil as their premise, not an assumption.
Yep.
And this means that they start at what most people's conclusion would be and build a logic path backwards. And it's very frustrating, and this is why debunking doesn't really work for them. It works for getting people to understand why they suck, and it is relevant and important, and we need it, but we need to also understand that we think they're going from here to there, but they're going from here to there. And that creates a bunch of situations where people say conservatives are very logical. And logic is just a way of representing information. Because, and this is the single principle that is most important to understand if you are going to do literally anything in my field within the context of AI. Garbage in, garbage out. If premises are bad, all other thoughts you form will be wrong. And genuinely, there's times in science where we realize our premises are incorrect, right? And that's because we find new data and we find new evidence, we find whatever. And that means that everything we've built off of that old premise, garbage. Gotta get rid of it. It's a real problem. And this is why, like, whether or not truth can exist is like a really complicated topic in between like physicians and philosophers, because like if certain aspects of those premises don't exist, then like the universe kind of falls apart. It's like really complicated, but yeah. So the reason I bring this all up, because I discussed this a little bit in my next video, is that I think often we spend a lot of time obsessing about, you know, like, oh, what they're saying doesn't make any sense, because we're approaching their views as if they have the same premises as us. And like the best thing you can do for yourself, and I find that like this isn't a special thing. Anyone can learn these topics. Seriously. The internet is right there. You have access to university quality lectures on logic. You can find this information. I don't know exactly where the best place to get it is, but like
it's out there. The truth is out there.
It is available. Well, as far as truth goes, I have a very long, like, I have a script that I might finish at some point about truth. It's like, it's half a response to another video that I liked, but the person kept ignoring a really important point. It was really annoying me. So well, it's like, it's not a, like, to be clear, it's not a critique of the other video. It's more like adding on top. But
well, it's interesting the way so because sorry, I'm just connecting a lot of what you were talking with like other aspects of like things that I've written about and things that I've like been discussing, and because it like goes back to this whole idea of like conservatism as again like lowercase c conservatism as a philosophy, which is sort of this idea that like things that are traditional are inherently better because they've been proven out over time, quote unquote. And again, it's like, well, those traditions may have been built upon bad premises, if you know what I mean, that are like in garbage in, garbage out, and you just sort of building up a world upon that that assumption. It's just it's but like continually building from that and building upon that and just sort of taking those premises as truth right at the beginning. It's sort of an interesting.
It means
yeah.
It means that you do so this is a really good example of this for it just in general is anytime conservatives come across research that disagrees with their premises. That is where this is most starkly demonstrated, and you can really easily see this with anything relating to trans people and research that says that we are who we are, right? Because they are being logical, and this is what frustrates people, because logic doesn't mean you're right. Logic means that you are following knowledge in a pathway.
Yeah.
So like you're representing and engaging in knowledge in a specific way, but again, bad premises. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that they're logical. Their premises are bad, so they're coming to weird conclusions. So if your premise is trans people are bad, what happens when you encounter research saying the opposite? We don't treat it as a premise, right? You treat it as an assumption. So what do you do when you find an assumption that contradicts? Why? A proof by contradiction. That's right. Every time conservatives encounter research that is pro the groups that they hate, they genuinely think that, like, it is failing the laws of the universe.
No, I mean, yeah.
And so I have this segment from my next video, which I feel fine like reading right now because it's
please do.
Like it's included as like a very specific like interconnection between something I had already written And the video itself, it's actually a bit of academic paper that I wrote for one of my linguistics classes. For some extra context, when I wrote this was November 18th, 2021. I wasn't out as a woman at the time because I didn't fully understand that yet. I was non-binary. So it's going to have some statements in there that aren't fully accurate to my identity as it is right now. I'm going to say my, like the first line I think has like, I use they, them pronouns, which isn't accurate. I use she, they. But yeah. Okay. For context, I'm non-binary. I use they, them pronouns, and so I'm going to talk about some specific language around how cis people interact with trans people like myself from personal experience. First off, never ask someone their dead name. Dead name is the name given at birth that is no longer the trans person's name. And if you know it, never use it. The reason it's called a dead name is because it's dead. It's not their name. To use it is to say that you do not view them as who they are. As well, being gendered correctly is not something to be earned. It does not matter how harmful that person has been. To misgender someone because you dislike them is to tell trans people that respecting our basic existence is predicated on behaving in a way that you want us to. Secondly, when you're unsure what someone's pronouns are, or talking about a hypothetical person of any gender, use they/them. A lot of lesser academic publications, and unfortunately many reputable ones as well, will waste letters writing out he/she or her/him when writing about, say, a participant in a study. It is both more accurate and simpler to just use they or them when the gender is not specified. Example, he or she answered 10 questions versus they answered 10 questions. As a fun note, the singular they predates the usage of singular you by several hundred years. The Oxford Dictionary traces the earliest known use of singular they to the poem William and the Werewolf from 1375. In case anyone ever says that singular they makes no sense and has no precedent in the English language, a common argument used against people like myself using they, them pronouns. As a second note, pronouns do not equal a specific gender. There are plenty of trans people who use any or specific sets of pronouns. As well, there are people who use neopronouns. Some common examples include fey/fair or z/sir. People use these pronouns because they feel they represent their gender more accurately. While English may have neutral pronouns, many languages lack them, and neopronouns in those languages are particularly important to non-binary people who do not feel represented by gendered terms. Just this past week, again, this is in 2020, just this past week, Le Robert, one of the strictest French dictionaries, officially acknowledged and added the neutral singular and plural pronouns, el and els. This language change to acknowledge the existence of non-binary people in French would not have occurred without the creation of neopronouns by trans people. Many languages and cultures have recognized genders other than man and women throughout history, and some languages have no gendered pronouns at all. Specific imperialist and colonialist actions have tried to erase these cultures' more nuanced and accurate understandings of gender. In conclusion, refer to people how they want to be referred to, even if you don't understand someone's specific experience or why they would want to be referred to in that way. It takes very little to respect someone's identity and humanity. So again, this is something I wrote in 2021. This is old writing of mine. And this is from the new video where I'm responding to my old writing. It's 2022, and I think about how the argument/debate around they/them pronouns has nothing to do with pronouns, and everything to do with conceptions of the world and how culture functions. If conservatism is defined in its desire to regress and crystallize culture at a specific state, then it only makes sense that they would desire for language to do so as well. This desire relies on an assumption that their goal is even achievable, that culture can stay in a single state, a provably ridiculous adventure. What they are really arguing about is whether or not marginalized people should be able to affect, alter, and influence culture. This is also why pointing out their hypocrisy means nothing to them. Pronouns are part of a language game, where the battlefield is in what knowledge and perspectives are acceptable. It was never about pronouns, and pointing out that they use singular they, or that singular they has existed for this long, doesn't change anything. So why bring up the history? Because what matters is that it is factually true that the language has changed and can change, and that language will always reflect the needs and usage of its carriers. You're not going to argue them out of their primary base assumptions about life, the universe, and everything by pointing out a little hypocrisy.
That's actually a really excellent point. Like, damn. Sorry, I'm also playing this boss right now. It's a really wise point, and I'm also like trying not to die.
No, focus on that. I love this combination of Bloodborne and philosophy.
No, I love it though. This is how everything should be taught. I wish like my school had like taught like this. Like, all right, kids, you're gonna battle a hell demon tonight and also get a lecture on logic. And I've been like, all right, I'm here for it. But no, that was actually like I'll respond better in just a second, either when I die or when I win, which more than likely I'm gonna die. Because as everyone has been telling me repeatedly, stop playing it like Dark Souls. And I know, but I just like Dark Souls, alright?
No, you have to unlearn the pathways.
I know. Yeah, I'm getting there. Anyways, now that I've died, now I can actually respond. But yeah, no, it's... Now I'm like trying to remember, because I was listening to what you said.
Yeah.
And then immediately yeah. Well, weirdly, it just reminded. It was like an audiobook, whereas like listening to, I was actually engaging with what you were saying, and then as soon as I had to like respond to it and actually talk back, I'm like, no, I've lost it all instantaneously. But I was listening, I was like enraptured.
Yeah. No, it's.
But no, it was. Well, again, it goes back to what you were just saying, whereas like a lot of. Sorry, you. Can you summarize what you just said to me so I can retain it in my brain again?
I would say that the briefest summary I can give it is just that conservatives aren't arguing about pronouns. Like, not really. And that's why they constantly do a bunch of
they're
contradictions. Because it isn't actually about the contradictions.
They're actually
more about like,
fighting for...
Who has access.
Yeah, who has access to define how we see the world and who gets to build the world. That was the point that I wanted to build upon. Yeah, no, it's... Again, it. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just thinking about the way you describe things in terms of. No, I'm not even like pausing. I'm just more.
Sorry, I'm laughing. I'm laughing because someone in the chat said that I speak like Noam Chomsky.
Tiger Jones, love you. But no, it's the idea that like they're. I look at like Matt Walsh, and they're just these people that are fighting to be able to define again, using the language that you've handed us during the past little bit, like to define the premises upon which the society is built, I should say, and culture is built, is like that's what they're fighting to do. And I think like I hesitate to call it in intelligence, but I guess it would be just the intelligence of folks like Walsh is to know that that's the battlefield and not the battlefield of logic. It's the battlefield of trying to define which premise gets to be taken as given. And I think that's what that type of content, the creators who build that type of conservative content, who are able to succeed at it, are aware that is what they are doing. They aren't necessarily arguing for a way to fight for the logic of the world. They're fighting for a way to view the world through their particular lens and always build from that, the assumptions that they have already built. And if you ever contradict the assumptions that are already taken as given, that's when you see a lot of like creators or figures in that movement be taken down, because they sort of go against that assumption, which is why you see so many, I think, why it's just now, despite all the shit, I'll use this as like this because this is an extreme example to sort of think about. It's like just now you see a lot of conservatives starting to be like, maybe Trump is bad actually, and not even in the sense that like Trump is like a bad person, more just like he's a bad leader to have us leading this movement because he's just kind of shit at being a leader. And they're just now doing it because the basic premise that they built up upon was like, Trump is our god figure, he is this great leader who's going to be able to, because they've always built upon like authoritarian figures and like cult of personalities. So the premise is like, Trump is an amazing figure who can lead us to like this grand renewal of Americana and American culture in a very authoritarian, fascistic sort of way. But like, they would, despite all the ways they've been shown that not only is Trump like just a bad person, which they don't care about, but he's an incompetent leader. They just won't go against that because it goes against the base assumption that they made, and to do that would sort of like unravel a lot of the ways.
It's not an assumption; it's a premise.
The premise,
assumption, premise, two different things, right? So
yeah, please.
Like in the a lot of people think again, it's the complexity of like.
No, yeah. You're
using academic language. We need to avoid the colloquial term because it will confuse the conversation.
No, I get it. I know what I was saying, but yeah, you are correct.
It's their premise. Their premise was Trump is God, and I don't mean God like capital G, worship on high. I mean God in the sense of like philosophy concept God, right? And God made manifest on earth, and in the case of quite a few evangelicals, right? And so, but once he's no longer useful, and this is why they can shift so easily, is because there's like deeper premises that they care more about. And this gets into that aspect of like feelings. Like I think a lot of times when people are like, oh, these people are just guided by their feelings, and I'm like, well, that's not, being guided by your feelings isn't inherently a bad thing. Like, that's a sentence that's going to upset a lot of people to hear from.
No, but I don't think it's wrong. I mean, that's why
it's under like it's having an awareness of like what is feelings, and I think a lot of times it's not even necessarily that they have feelings about it. It's that they have like this very specific view of how it functions and how they can, view it. And
well,
so it's like, yeah.
Well, sorry, this is gonna be. I'm gonna make it a nerdy ass way to discuss this, and I know you have issues with the show. We don't need to go too deep into it, but I'll make this very nerdy just to be able. But it's like why I like Star Trek Discovery quite a bit, especially in its later seasons, because it's a show that like is aware that emotions also guide how we view the world, as opposed to like previous Star Treks, which are much more just purely facts and logic and science based, which is again not and there were emotions there. Well, they were emotions there for sure, but like I think the way that it's billed itself.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of conservatives do the same thing as that actually, which is what I would call the veneer of emotionlessness. Like they're actually deeply emotional all the time, but it's not actually the problem, nor is it the problem with people they're disagreeing with. Everyone's emotional, and anyone who says differently is lying, and you should examine why, because there's probably a good reason.
Even Vulcans feel emotions. They feel emotions more deeply than anybody else. Sorry, I just have to always make it nerdy. I apologize.
I love Star Trek. It's great, and I've said this before, and I'm pretty sure I said in a line in either this script or what I have of the Matrix Resurrection script done is that it is the script. I purposefully pair discussions of certain topics with a piece of media because it creates a mutual language. I think the exact thing I say in the video is like, I could have just discussed. I'm trying to find a way of wording this because I don't want to drop like a heavy thing, but I could have just discussed social homicide as it relates to trans people as a video by itself, but instead I couched it as a discussion of the transness of the Matrix, right? Like the Matrix is intrinsically trans isn't about the Matrix being trans. Like it is, but it isn't. The primary thing it's about is the actual messages of the Matrix that only make sense when you understand it's trans. Like that's what it's actually about. And the messages of the original Matrix are a very heavy conversation about. I'm not going to like throw these terms out because I know it can be triggering for people, so I don't want to do that. But like, if you've seen the Matrix is intrinsically trans, you understand what I mean by the subway scene. So like, there's there's a reality to that film that like, and the video is about denialism of trans perspective, but like it's not really about the Matrix is trans. Like that's if I wanted to just say that, it'd be like one line. It's this deeper discussion about the way that the Matrix being trans means it is discussing very specific politics, queer politics, and violence we experience. And I don't think if I put out a video called, the facts about social homicide of trans people, people would. I don't think I would have gotten 22,000 video, 22,000 views or whatever it's at right now. Like I just wouldn't.
Sorry, I just pulled it up to.
Yeah.
It is at 23,000. There you are. Yeah, you are.
I accidentally proved that I'm not that conceited. But like joking, but like yes, it at the same time the video is, and I say this with absolute confidence because I have literally read every single trans allegory reading of the Matrix that I could find on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And God, there were some bad ones. Um, you go digging far enough.
I'm sure there are.
Like not like nothing they're saying is wrong, but it's just like very poorly written stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But so it is factually it is the most in-depth trans reading of the first Matrix film, but it's not really what the video's about, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
And I think it really resonated with a lot of people, and it taught them a lot about those aspects. And it's like this might be a little bit of a mean comparison, but I'm kind of like feeding people medicine with a treat, like their dogs. Like with a dog, when you need a dog to take the pill, but they don't want to, you surround it with a treat.
Well, yeah, no, I mean that's what I'm doing. I totally agree with you, and I understand what you're doing because it's what I was doing with what I'm aiming to do with like sex in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Well, with all the sex in Star Trek videos, like my intention with the entire series, like going from the original series all the way into Voyager and Enterprise. And I've already written out the first drafts. I actually wrote out the first drafts for all of those videos before I even started filming the one I did on the original series. Because the premise was I wanted to use sex as a way to actually discuss this issue of look at what Star Trek the original series was based upon. It was based upon this vision of this one guy, Gene Roddenberry, or at least how he sort of created the inception of it. And at the time, it was actually for its time, it was actually a very progressive ideal. But then as it went further and further on, it got crystallized as like it has to stay this way, and because of that, it got captured up in a lot of the problems of both that man, his tokenism towards certain people of different marginalized groups, his sexism, his own very like heterosexual centered viewpoint on sexuality, in light of like heteronormativity and all that sort of stuff. And because of that, by the time that it got to Enterprise in the 2000s, it was still a show that was mired in some ways issues of the 80s and even other ways issues of the 60s from the original series. And that's because it was a show that had been sort of crystallized in this one man's view of the world that, again, progressive for its time, but failed to evolve. And that's what the series is about, is trying to guide people through each show and say this is why this happens. And Deep Space Nine's an interesting case, which is why it's going to be the hard one to discuss, is because in some ways it is an interesting discussion because it breaks away from, it's the one piece during that era that breaks away, but it's still a reaction against and still very much tied to the problem.
Well, and DS9 is constantly restricted by Berman, and as you discuss in the TNG one, Berman is a product of Gene in a dozen different ways.
I mean, literally in the book that I was reading today, it was just talking about I have a book that was released at the time of Deep Space Nine that was about the creation of Deep Space Nine. It was released at that time, and literally everything that is said in that book by Rick Berman is like, well, it's still adhering to Gene Roddenberry. There's a quote that he has in there is like, I don't really believe Gene Roddenberry's vision, but I am making sure this thing fits into it as best I can. And so it's like a man who's like a pale echo of this vision that is adhering to it and also bringing in his own problems and bullshit.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating how that functions and works out in the world. And like I at some point do want to eventually do an unintentionally queer on Deep Space Nine. Though like that will be a while because it will take a long time to do my watch throughs and everything because just the nature of that series, like how in depth it goes. But I'll probably be picking like representative episodes of specific characters across the series, and then just doing a discussion of like I think I'll probably structure it like the Garrick and Bashir section, the Jadzia Dax section, the Ezri Dax section, because those two have different like readings that are relevant. They're interrelated, but like they probably go back to, but like there's and the entire point of the video would be about like if, because the first two unintentionally queer videos were about like here's how to do a reading and why we do readings of works that have no intention of there being a queer reading, right? And that like that is just as valid as things that intend to have it. And unintentionally queer part 2, which starts with the Matrix video, is about works where there is clear contradiction between different people involved in creating it. So on one hand, you have the Wachowskis, who both intentionally and unintentionally suffused it with a bunch of transness and queerness. And then you have the studio that actively tried to remove as much of that as they could. This isn't speculation. We know this for a fact, right? They removed Switch being explicitly trans. They removed lines that referenced trans people more explicitly. Like they tampered with these things. But that is more about a systemic sort of like how this occurs, where like it kind of can occur in this sort of nebulous blob of people, whereas Deep Space Nine would be about how if you don't deal with one shitty, powerful cis white dude,
yep,
it doesn't matter how progressive and amazing everybody else involved is, because that one person with power can fuck it all up.
Yep.
And that one person with power is a result of these systems, right? And it's like it's kind of making a case that like you need to excise the systems that are bad completely, not just
kind of
partially.
Well, that's
which is,
yep.
I know it'll kind of be almost an accompanying piece to yours, and this is why I'm waiting to even start working on it until
mine's
yours is done. And I'll probably I'll probably be giving feedback on yours as well.
I mean, I've already asked you. Like, I want you to be able to.
I won't say anything more about it because I'll let you decide when we talk.
No. It's interesting because like it ultimately that's the one piece that I haven't actually written a draft of yet is the modern Star Trek, and it's ultimately going to be that sort of argument too, where it's like, well, hey, look, modern Star Trek now is removed from this one shitty dude. It doesn't have Rick Berman over its head, and yet because of that, it has moved forward in a lot of ways. In really awesome ways, and I love modern Star Trek for a lot of the ways that it has progressed forward. In many ways, further than a lot of other contemporary franchises like Star Wars and stuff. But but also because it is still mired in this system that still exists beyond Rick Berman the person, it still adheres to a lot of the same problems that we still see within it, like especially in initial phases, like the treatment of queerness in early Star Trek Discovery seasons, and things And you could even argue, again, I love Lower Decks to death, but like you could even argue about how it's not really paying good attention to asexual readings of characters like Billups, especially this season. And so it's sort of an
Season 4 started releasing?
Season 3.
I was just talking about season 3. No, I'm just making sure that we're talking about it. Yeah, I didn't like that episode very much. The one that, like it felt like I get what it was going for, but as in like it was very filled with the allosexual gaze.
Yes.
And it felt very much like it was kind of a joke at the expense of being specifically sex averse. Asexual, because his character both doesn't experience sexual attraction, which is asexuality, and has an aversion to having sex, which is sex averse. Because there are ace people that don't experience sexual attraction, but still will engage in the act because it's enjoyable or whatever.
But I think the issue is sorry.
So as someone watching it was very, very, very uncomfortable for me. Like that episode was not made for me. As a
well, I think the issue that I had with we're talking about episode 2 of season 3.
The one where his mom tries to force him to have sex.
No, not even that one.
Oh, not that one?
No.
Oh, which one?
So it's season 3, episode 2. It's this season that just came out.
I just seen it like in the last month, so I'm gonna look it up and I'll know what you're talking about.
Season 3, episode 2 is the one where Billups and Rutherford are on the planet, while Mariner and Ransom are up above fixing the orbital elevators, and Rutherford and Billups sort of tied into this like very sexual wellness-based community. So the thing that I'm talking about is that if we, and I very much like the joke of that episode, the episode that you were talking about, where we learned that Billups can't have sex, in that episode is very much like kind of laughing at the idea that like asexuality is kind of the joke and it has that problem. Orbital lifts, thank you, Joel. But in that episode, Billups goes down to this planet, and sort of gets treated to like a very sensual, like treatment of the people there, and does not seem to mind it that much, and actually seems to kind of get wrapped up and kind of enjoy it. And like there's even a joke I think that Ransom says, well, like, don't get too excited, you don't want to like I forget the exact way he words it, but he alludes to the fact that if Billups has sex, then he has to leave Starfleet or whatever. So when I watch the episode, it's like, well, again, not as an asexual person, but like just reading it with my awareness of just from you and from others about the asexual community, is like there is a reading here that like, oh, okay, so Billups is a sex I want to say sex positive, but that's not the right term, is it? Sex is fine with is an asexual person who is fine with being around sexual activity and sex.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but
yeah,
but I'm very
I think that reading of the character, you can read that in the character within the episodes. Like he's an asexual character who is fine with being around sex and doesn't have a problem with it and being in the area of it. We can even see that in season 2 where there's that orgy scene in the holodeck where he's sort of sitting reading while everyone else is around him having sex. So like we can sort of see that, but it also doesn't feel like it's intentional or aware of like Billups as an asexual a character who has been read as part of the asexual community. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think I've seen this episode. I looked it up. Okay, maybe I've only seen the first 2 seasons. When did season 3 release?
It's literally it's currently releasing right now. I think only episode 4 is just released this week.
Oh, okay, then yeah, I haven't seen it. Yet. Yeah. I'm probably not gonna like that episode.
Yeah, I mean, there's parts that, I mean, the Boimler part of that episode I really love, but yeah, that bit with, and actually I don't hate that episode. It's just that the stuff with Billups is sort of a background element. It's just that part of it I was just like, oh, it seems to be kind of betraying the way that they have written Billups, or probably more accurately, it doesn't seem to go against how Billups was written. It just doesn't seem to have a nuanced awareness of Billups as a character with that perspective, I guess is the better way to put it.
Yeah, definitely. It's like there's just a lack of awareness there, and it's like I don't expect them to ever be, perfect. I think I often get frustrated at series because I think there's a difference between mistakes and just like really avoidable stuff, and I think part of my frustration with a lot of works is that these are made by professional teams, and I, as a not making enough, like anywhere near a decent amount of money from the works that I make person, I do more sensitivity checking with people than like Hollywood studios with the budgets to actually pay for that stuff. I just do it by chatting with my friends. Like
that's actually what's gonna be the argument that I was gonna make, is like I just sort of realized like the episode reads as like it's not intensely problematic. It just reads as something that like if they had an asexual person do a sensitivity read on it, would have taken 2 seconds to just like, oh, shift this line just a beat and it would make it fix it.
Necessarily need to be an ace person. It just needs to be a queer person that is aware of these issues. And there's a lot of professional sensitivity writers that are queer that cover all these things that aren't necessarily every specific identity, but do know enough to catch common mistakes.
Like
and I'm like, you should just be working with these people at baseline. Like I think that should be the standard in the industry, is working with a sensitivity reader of some sort for any potential identities you might be encountering when you write a work. and your art will be better. Always, 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 always. Every time you use, like, I have never, ever, even for a millisecond, regretted asking for sensitivity reading. Ever. And like, I unfortunately don't have money, so I don't pay people. What I often do is I actually just do the same thing for them.
Yeah.
It's very paid forward in our community. Like in the video essayist community, it's like paid forward unless you have the money to pay for real. And like, because not all of us are big enough to pay for that type of thing from making videos. Yeah, so it's interesting.
Yeah. I also might need to wrap up soon. Just because I haven't gotten any further. This is the nature of Bloodborne and Dark Souls. I am also like trying to like have a good. I've been paying more attention to our conversation than been playing the game. And it's just like no. That's totally fine. I'm glad that that's what happened. I'd rather have the conversation than play the game. It's just more interesting because it's like I'm trying to like talk with you, but then also I'm like trying to unlearn my Dark Souls feels on Bloodborne, which like. Yeah. Which is difficult, but I no regrets. And I'm sorry, I've been paying attention to the chat, but apologies I haven't been responding to all of you, but I've been appreciating a lot of the discussion in the chat, so love to everybody there. But yeah, I think I might wrap up. But can I show you and everybody really quick? I'll show you the whole video because I think you'll get a kick out of it, but I don't want to reveal the whole video just yet. But I'll show an image of it to everybody if everybody's in. For the thing that I'm doing for the Matt Walsh video. Let's see. I know you can't see the screen, but I'll show it to you after we go off stream. Let me see if I can get this. So that's screen cap. Nope, don't put that over your face. Okay. And by the way, thank you for coming on because this was a really, really great conversation.
Ignore me with my camera. No, I was just making sure I hadn't like missed a message or something.
I hope everyone in the chat appreciated the conversation too. Okay. All right, I'm gonna show this off real quick. Let me just make sure my face is in it so you can see our reactions real quick. All right, sadly I'm gonna lose you, Aaron. They'll be able to hear you, but you won't be able to see your face, but they'll be able to hear you.
That's fine.
Okay. So I'm going to show this to you all because this is just kind of fun. Let's see. Oh, you don't want that. Okay. Everything's exploding. There we go. Okay. All right. Now you should be able to see this video. So I'm not going to play it for all of you because I want to save the fun of it for later, chat. But you should also still be able to hear it. Yeah, you should still hear it in there. But this is the video that I'm currently working on with Matt Walsh. This is just a bit that I've made for it. Like I said, I have an editor editing the full thing, but this is just one bit that I've worked on today. So this is just a fun comedy like TV show bit that I'm working on for the video that I think is just kind of fun. And I'll leave it here. So that's just it is the other whiteboard, Joel. So I just wanted to show it off. I just like showing off stuff. I think it's kind of fun. And Newt gets a whole bit in the video too, so that's a whole fun. Anyway, awesome. Yeah. So I'll leave it there. I just wanted to kind of show it off. So thank you for indulging me. So
wait, before we go, let me grab my cat.
Yes, get your cat. Well, while Aeronoc's getting their cat, I'm just gonna tell everybody in the chat. Once Aeronoc gets their cat and we say goodbye, I'm gonna send everybody hearts and love. I hope everyone enjoyed the conversation tonight. I'm still learning, especially getting back into the groove of doing gaming streams again because I haven't been doing it. But I hope everyone appreciates the balance of gaming and like talking with Aeronoc. And I always love having Aeronoc because Aeronoc is the best person and also teaches me too many things while I'm playing video games. Okay, so love to everybody. Aeronoc, kitty. Oh wait, can we get Newt and your cat on at the same time? One second, I'm gonna call Newt. Hey. I'm gonna let you control the stream for a second. I'm gonna go get Newt so we can have two black cats real quick.
You're staying here, Killian, okay? Say hi to chat. He's just the snuggliest little boy. It's one cat that teleports. It's like teleporting on the frame rate or something.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, just someone in chat joking that it's just one cat that's teleporting back and forth.
See, now we have actual proof that we have two different cats.
This is my cat, Killian.
Hell yes.
He's a big snippy boy.
Yes.
He's very sweet.
And
he's a little confused why I'm holding on onto my boy. Okay.
And I also got new here. Here we are. No, I was gonna make them kiss on screen. Anywho. But we got two cats. Newt doesn't like to be picked up at all, so he's gonna run away. But hello, Killian.
He wants to run off after like a minute or two.
No, Newt despises being picked up. I used to have cats who loved being picked up, and Newt despises them. All right, everybody. I'm gonna end the stream, and Aronach and I are gonna talk for a little bit. But I'm gonna wrap up the stream. Aronach, you'll stick around. But love to everybody. You're all wonderful and amazing. Mwah. Sending you all love. I will see you all Thursday for my next stream. That'll be the next thing that coming. Oh, actually, that's a lie. I actually have a video coming out. Besides all my reviews, I'll be reviewing House of the Dragon and all that stuff. But Tuesday, I actually got to speak to the ship designer, the assistant art director of Star Trek Online, and he also was the person who helped contribute a lot of the ships to Star Trek Picard Season 2. He's a really cool dude. He helped make a lot of the ships to Star Trek Picard Season 2. So I got to interview him, and he will be on, Thomas Maroney. He'll be on, I did an interview with him, and that interview will be up next week. So be on the lookout for that. He is really cool. But beyond that, that's the next thing that'll be up on the channel. Beyond that, look for my reviews. I send you all love. Take care of yourself. Thank you for being here. Mwah. Send you all love. And go and subscribe to Aronach's channel, because Aronach is the best. Alright. Telling y'all good night. Where's the thing? There's too many buttons on my computer right now.